This video will explain the properties of real numbers. To begin with, the commutative property of addition. That comes from the word commute, which literally means to move around. So our generic example is A plus B is the same thing as B plus A. To use a more complex example, let's say we have 13x squared plus 7x. All this is saying is that you can write this as 7x plus 13x squared, and both of those are equal. They mean the same exact thing. The same thing for the commutative property of multiplication. Again, the word commute means to move around, so the generic example is AB is equal to BA. Thus saying, if you had x times 6 and 6x, those are the same things. So you can move things around in addition and multiplication for it to mean the same thing. The next is the associative property of addition. The generic example is A plus B in parentheses plus C is equal to A plus B plus C in parentheses. Let's use the example 3, 8, and x. So we'll say on the left side we have 3 plus 8 plus x, and let's put 8 and x in parentheses. That is the same thing if we said 3 plus 8 in parentheses and x. They're both going to equal, so if we add like terms, the 8 and the 3 is 11 plus x, and then again the 3 and the 8, 11 plus x. The associative property of multiplication is saying A times B in parentheses times C is equal to A times B times C in parentheses. Let's use the example of negative 2, 3, and x. So we'll say negative 2, and then 3 and x will be in parentheses. So 3 times x is equal to putting negative 2 times 3 in parentheses and multiplying that by x. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6x, and then the other side, negative 2 times 3 is negative 6, and times x. The last one is the distributive property. This is saying A times B plus C is equal to AB plus AC. Let's use the example 5 with 3x plus 7 in parentheses. So the distributive property is just that, distributing. So we know that when a number is outside the parentheses and it doesn't have a 5 plus, like in the one we'll say with the example for the associative property of addition, there is a plus sign in between that. So if there's nothing there, we know that's being multiplied. So we're just going to distribute the 5. Everything in the parentheses is being multiplied by 5. So 5 times 3x, and then 5 times 7. So 5 times 3x will be 15x, and then 5 times 7 will be 35, and it is addition, so we'll keep the addition. And that's distributing. Now, if we had A times B minus C in parentheses, let's use the example of 4 with 2x minus 5 in the parentheses. We'll want to distribute the 4. So 4 will be multiplied by 2x, and then 4 will be multiplied by negative 5. So first 4 times 2x will be 8x. Now you can look at this two ways. You can say it's a subtraction, we'll keep it subtraction, and we'll just look at the numbers. So we'll say 8x minus 4 times 5 is 20. Or some people like to look at it as a negative number. So 4 times negative 5, and that will give you negative 20. Either way, you'll get 8x minus 20.